Hello, fabulous people. It is I, Mario Mijares, aka the Blu-ray Bodhisattva, aka the Salsa Shaman. Just making a quick video to talk about the moon in Cancer post the full moon in Gemini, the last full moon of 2024. Part of this full moon in Gemini entails coming into newfound truths, meaning and purpose of your life, your environment, the direction you're heading. With Mercury turning direct during the full moon in Gemini, and Gemini being ruled by Mercury. And when Mercury is retrograde, it is a period of re-evaluation, renegotiation, rethinking, going back, backtracking, correcting, editing, summarizing, rethinking, re-strategizing. So the 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, there were a lot of particular aspects that occurred during that time. But in a nutshell, with Mercury retrograde in Sag, it has been having us rethink what we align with is our purpose and what directions we want to take. And Gemini, being the Gemini full moon, Gemini represents truth, information, and the mind. And Sagittarius is the higher mind. And so with the Gemini full moon and Mercury turning direct was a profound period of coming into new truths, or a completed perspective and understanding of your life and the bigger picture and the greater role. For example, yesterday during the full moon in Gemini, I did a live stream on my YouTube channel, Unscripted Liberation Codes, and I had a special guest named Nathan Sizek. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. Nathan is the only person I've met that has also been involved with the Joy of Satan Ministries. Those of you who have known me for quite a long time, if you've known me since high school, then you really know, that I openly identified as a spiritual Satanist many years ago. And some of you may have heard me in the telling of my stories, that's a part of my history. So the Joy of Satan Ministries is this organization, this church. It's a real thing. And Nathan is the only person that I've met that has been involved in this as well. And for me, this was years ago. This was almost 20 years ago. Wow, I can say that. Well, I'm getting old, you guys. I'm not old, but I'm older. Almost 20 years ago. What's going on here with this? What is this? You good? You good? All right. Tráfico. So long story short, I had, for the Gemini new moon, I had Nathan on my channel. We did a live stream, and I, interviewed and asked questions about his involvement with the Joy of Satan Ministries, because he's older than I am. And when he was involved in it, this dude was a full-on adult with wife, children, house, all that shit. Me, I was a child. I was 17 years old, and I was involved in that all the way until, almost 23 years old. And the thing that blew my mind about Nathan's understanding about the Joy of Satan Ministries and what he'd come to uncover is actually connected to MyLabs. And for those who don't know, MyLabs is an acronym that stands for military abductions. And for those of you who really don't know, there are thousands, perhaps millions of people that have been abducted by the military in various points of their lives, me included. Abducted by the military, people who are also targeted individuals. So apparently, Joy of Satan Ministries is all part of this honeypot, this virtual temple honeypot, where a lot of people, not everyone involved, but people who have been involved in programs and within military abductions become groomed by handlers and voice-to-skull technology to subconsciously lead them into these various types of virtual honeypot temples as a way to keep these individuals in a controlled setting environment. So for me, what Nathan had to say and uncover was a huge revelation. It's a lot to break down, but it was a huge revelation that opened me up into a bigger picture of just like how in depth the hidden hands in my life have been involved in so many details. I had no idea that when I was 17 and I found my way to the Joy of Satan Ministries, that it was also because I had been a part of the programs and they wanted me to be a part of this as well. Because the thing is, I'm an angelic soul. I'm a starseed, just like many of us here. And the thing is that they know that we are all going to come into great awakenings and activate in ways that are going to change the world, the great paradigm shift. And so they have all these various methods, tactics, and strategies to try to prevent that for some of us very powerful beings here. So back to the full moon in Gemini. It is likely that this month in your life, right, either now or, because of this new moon in Gemini, you are coming into greater understandings of the bigger picture of your life, where it's bringing you back into the past with the Mercury retrograde, having to go way back and re-look at things in a new way that completely expand your truth, your understanding, and so much more, that enhances your alignment and realigning you to your purpose and your mission. So yeah, big thing. But what I really wanted to talk about was, now the moon is in Cancer. So Gemini is the mind. It's all about thoughts, the mind, information. And so Gemini is the mind, information, the nervous system, thoughts. It's very, very heady, very logical. Cancer, the sign after Gemini, is a water sign, cardinal water sign. And Cancer is all about feelings. The key word for Cancer is I feel. The key word for Gemini is I think. Thoughts and feelings are very different. When we think about things, it's very different when we actually come to feel about things. So, when you come across some new information or some shocking information or some new information that's in your thought, and you're having to process it mentally. And sometimes we will say things, I don't know how I feel about that right now, because it's currently in the mental realm having to be processed. So moon in Cancer, the Cancer is governed by the moon. So now that we have gone through the full moon in Gemini, and we're coming into new profound truths and revelations about our lives, what we believe our purpose, our mission is, having more synchronized events to, validate and confirm to us that we really are on this path and we really are doing this thing. Now that the moon is in Cancer, we are going to experience now and tomorrow and all the way towards the end of the moon in Cancer transit, when the moon in Cancer makes a sextile to Uranus and a trine to Neptune, and a oh, never mind, I got mixed up there, but yeah, a trine to Neptune. Where am I? Okay, so as I was saying, now that from now when the moon is in Cancer, we are going to be in this other expression, this other process of these things where we're having to feel it. We're having to really feel it. And so going back to, personal in my life, the recent revelation I've come to understand about, what Nathan disclosed to me about the Joy of Satan, Ministries, and, that part. So yesterday and the day before, got to put my safety glasses on. So yesterday and the day before, when I was just learning about Nathan's story, this was a huge mind-blowing thing, right? I was like, wow. But now that the moon is in Cancer, I'm having to really feel what that means, because before it was all heady, right? And it was like exciting in a way because it was new information, and it was new information that was connecting more dots and allowing me to penetrate and pierce deeper into the hidden hands and the energy and the frequencies of everything that I've experienced in my life. And now that the moon is in Cancer, now I'm having to feel that. Now I'm having to feel this whole other this flip of the coin of what that means. And there is an intensity to it, because now there is a part of my emotional body that has to feel what that means. And my emotional body is like, fuck, man. Like, I was in these programs. I've been abducted. I've been abducted as a child. I have been involved in SRA. If you don't know what SRA means, look up what that means. I have alters. I have, they've used me in a lot of different ways, and this is very real. It sounds batshit fucking crazy to the world because it's such a well-kept hidden secret of what's been going on, but it's fucking real. It's fucking real, and I have been involved. I am a victim in it. I have been used in it. So now my emotional body has to process like what these new truths mean and all that. And here is another thing that has to go with all of this, right? Because we are in Sagittarius season. So the sun is still in Sagittarius. Soon the sun is going to make a square to Neptune. And Neptune is this divine transcendental energy that can bring us into higher realms or to lower realms, where we could see that the river in front of us is a river of fire and hell, or a river of ambrosia and high vibrational energy. So it's all of our perspective and our belief systems. And what's tricky about our belief systems and our subconscious, it's going to do a lot with what we are choosing to believe, because Saturn is also in Pisces. So there's this integrity, there's this sense of responsibility of really needing to be conscious of where you're allowing yourself to how you're allowing yourself to tell the story. And going back to Sagittarius season, it's like this higher vision, right? And where in my processes of all of this, whereas like aspects of my emotional body are in this depth of having to feel, and there are areas within that need to heal, and my mind chewing on the information in this revelation, you know, it is very easy to slide into this victim energy of like, oh man, this was a part of my past, you know, all this stuff, they used me, blah 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 blah. But instead, with the energies going on, as I explained, with it being Sagittarius season and the square to Neptune and the sun getting ready to move across the galactic center and Neptune squaring that, it's like this other grand revelation, you know. And there's this saying, all things work for good. All things, meaning the negative and the positive, all things ultimately work for good, right? So as I'm having to process this intense polarity of experiences and truths, I'm having to transcend and be in control of what I want to believe. And I don't want to go into this domain of like of abuse, of victim and suffering. I'm going into this belief of like, damn, I am a chosen one, you know, I am a chosen one, and I'm here, and I've been doing the work, and I came here right away out of the womb with a purpose, with a mission, with gifts and abilities, and I am on the path of really activating and being about that. If you look at where I've been and where I am now, there is no doubt that I am a winner. There is no doubt that I am a champion. So fuck all the noise. I will never let anyone or anything dictate what my life is, what my life is about, and what my life is going to be, because I am the Blu-ray Bodhisattva. I am a Shambhala warrior. I am a star seed. I came here to do this shit. You know what I mean? So wherever it is in your life where you are experiencing an intensifying awareness of the polarities in your life, where in one side of the coin there is this revelation that is blowing your mind and allowing you to see a greater picture and understanding what the story of your whole life has been, and in that it's also opening those waters for the emotional body. As the mental awareness increases, the emotional body is then now has more room to process the wounded emotions. It's very important that you don't let that process, that phase, take you too deep into the waters, where then now your cells are being programmed into that victim suffering mode, where you wallow in pity and in the depths, and then again you are enhancing the manifestations of your own fucking suffering. So that's one polarity, and then the next end of that polarity is seeing the bigger picture, the meaning, the purpose, and connecting with that higher energy. Anyways, I gotta go, you guys. Peace.